Before I start this video, I just want to warn you, I dropped the F-bomb a handful of times. So if that offends you, puts you off, and you can't get past it and get to my message, you probably should move on and watch. Elon Musk. This guy is like, you listen to him and you listen to his ideas and what he's going to do. If you've been following like him since PayPal and the PayPal mafia and what they did for payment systems, back then you would have probably just gone, you're ludicrous, you're not going to change the banking system, this, that, and the other. Fast forward to Tesla, electric cars, and all of this stuff, and you would say, that dude is living on a whole nother planet. And he may be, actually, he may be alien, but here's the thing. He comes out with this whole TeraFab manufacturing facility, all vertically integrated chips. He says that 2% of the chips that he's gonna need for his companies, or only 2% of the chips being produced is what he needs for his factories. So in other words, he's missing 98% of chips that he's going to need in compute power for everything he's going to create. So he's just going to do it himself. He's teaming up with Intel, this, that, and the other. And you listen to this guy. I mean, what, $116 billion to build this thing out eventually? I mean, that's a ton of money. And if you really just scale that up, ultimately it's probably well above that. But here's the thing, and people think he's crazy. He's gonna build a facility that's 50 times the size of the Pentagon, and all these people are freaking out, and he's like, he's high. Here's the thing. Instead of taking the money that his companies produce and paying out a dividend or buying back their stocks, he's going and putting that money back in to his companies, and he's building the future. And if you think about it, the majority of the companies you own, are they doing that? Are they pushing the edge of failure? I mean, how many times does this guy fail a day? Probably more than you do in a year. But he just keeps going at it. He has a process, a system, and he just makes it happen. And I think this is something that over the weekend I got to thinking about. Why aren't we demanding that of the companies we buy or invest in? Why aren't we saying, hey, don't pay me a dividend. Don't buy back my stock. Take that money and build something. And it's okay if you fuck up. It's okay if you just blow $10 billion on the metaverse. But just keep doing it. Because someday you're going to hit, and I'm going to reap the rewards of it. And I think that's what Elon is doing. I think his mind is like, I got maybe, I'm 57. And let's say I live another 40 years. That puts me at 97. Why am I just going to sit back on my laurels and do nothing, and listen to the crickets crick? Instead, why don't I push myself? I mean, as long as you got a solid support people like your wife or your kids, your husband, why are you sitting back and taking it easy? Why are you pushing yourself? And I think that's what's going on with Elon. He's like, why the hell would I sit back on $1 trillion, which, if you don't understand how he's worth $1 trillion, he's not too liquid of a guy. He can't get $1 trillion out of his bank account. So these morons who are running some of these cities like New York City or Seattle, who are saying, well, let's tax the rich and give me all your money because I won't get off my ass and do something. Elon's the guy. These other guys who are pushing the edge, and they're doing stuff that makes us so uncomfortable, but they end up coming out on top. I mean, the other day, I was at the grocery store. My daughter and I went, And as we pulled up, there's this Tesla in the other lane driving by with no person in it. And it's driving by, it pulls up, stops at a stop sign, and it pulls up right at the front of the Publix. And this guy walks up to it, and he clicks it, and he clicks a button on his phone, and the hood opens up, he puts his groceries in, and I walk up to him and I go, dude, how does this work? How do you use this? I saw it just drive across. He goes, it's such a trip. He said, but I use it every day. He goes, honestly, I haven't driven myself to work in almost a year. What? He's like, I get in, going to work, it drives me there. I go to the grocery store, drops me off, parks itself, comes up, picks me up. Because the only drawback is, it takes 45 minutes to charge the thing full charge when I'm traveling. He goes, I go on an 8-hour trip, it feels like I only drove 4 because it drives me there. We wouldn't have had that technology if Elon hadn't dreamt it up as a kid. So why are we okay with companies who are just settling and they're buying back their stock and they're paying out a dividend? They're not pushing the edge. Now, I understand you want dividends if you're in retirement because you want reoccurring revenue, right? I get that. But for the majority of companies today, should we be expecting them to push the edge? Like, if you haven't failed like 6 times out of 10 in the last year or two, should we be questioning leadership? Because they're not pushing the edge, they're not bringing in, dreamers, people who come up with these crazy ideas. I mean, think about Walt Disney. You're going to go to Orlando and build an amusement park in the middle of a swamp? Nobody will ever show up. How many people have on this video have come and gone to Disney World and taken their kids or grandkids or themselves? Millions, billions. People fly from the other side of the world to go to Walt Disney. But it was because he had a dream and a vision and he executed on it and he went through the hard times that we get to enjoy and reap the rewards of such efforts and risk. Going back to Elon, I've really changed my mind about how I look at companies. Who is innovating? How am I analyzing these companies? Oh, they have earnings per share growth, they have this, that, and the other. But what are they building? What new ideas? Who's sitting in a room smoking a bunch of pot and dreaming up some of these ideas and then going out and building a plan and executing on them? I want to know who those guys are, because chances are the dreamers, those are the guys who are going to make me a billionaire, multi-billionaire. Yeah, why the hell not be a billionaire? Why the hell not in 40 years, I'm worth billions of dollars? Why not dream like that? Why are we sitting back and just taking it safe? We built Ask Samantha. Carrie built the prompt a year and a half ago, and it's basically an AI program that follows his screening, and he's always done it by hand. People submit ideas, he does it. It's just a lot of labor. Well, I start coding on Codework by Claude, and I'm like, just send me your prompt, I'll see what I can do. And I build this app that sits on our website called Ask Samantha. You can submit your stock ideas, and you'll analyze them based on Wall Street's way of analyzing stocks and how Carrie analyzes stocks. And it's like, it produces a report, it updates every quarter based on quarterly earnings and stuff. Some of the numbers that come out, like the 3-year projections, he's shooting for 100% in 3 years. Some of them come out and miss. Like Nvidia comes in like 3 years from now at this present price point, and its present economic standing in the world as long as it stays, it should only produce a 30% return. Well, as I pointed out on Carrie's call, I was like, it doesn't mean NVIDIA is a bad company, but maybe it's a bad time to buy NVIDIA at $200 and some odd, $220 some odd. Instead, why don't we wait for it to pull back to like 100 or 86 and then buy it and get our 100% return in 3 years? See, this is the stuff. When you start to think about this stuff, and you think about and you dream about all this stuff that we're building on Best of US Investors, it wouldn't happen a year ago. Now it is. I'm programming a landing page for a new white paper, a research paper that Carrie produced that goes out on a video that goes out on Monday that you can download for free. And I'm programming it while I'm walking. Our world has greatly changed. And I think it's about time we all adopt that attitude that our dreams actually can come true and that we can actually build them. Going back to Elon, if he pulls off what he said he wants to pull off or will pull off, how does that change manufacturing in this country, in the United States? Do we start building stuff in the United States that we're now building in China, and we're basically got a noose around our neck with them? Do we become self-sufficient? Do you build products or services, ideas that you've been sitting in a cubicle for 20 years thinking, oh, that'd be a great idea, but I just don't know how to do it? Now you can do it because you just take a chance and you go on to like Claude Code or OpenAI or some of these other programming, or use XAI, use their programming models. Why can't we do that now? Well, you can. And I think Elon Musk should be the poster child for taking chances, taking risks. We should be teaching that to our kids. We are fucking up as parents if we don't tell our kids, go try it 10 times. You'll win once, fail 9 times, but it's the win that keeps you going, that gets the idea going. If we don't do that as parents, as grandparents, as influencers, or whatever, take chances. You will screw up, you will fall and scrape your knee, but get up and start running again. In Elon, in my mind, that's what he's telling us. We have the technology to do whatever we want now. And most of us are sitting in a room, eating potato chips, watching the latest, series of Game of Thrones or whatever on TV, and we're not going out and saying, I got an idea for a movie. I got this book idea and this script. Why aren't we executing on that? Why aren't you the next Spielberg? Why aren't you the next Elon Musk? And I'll tell you why you're not. And that is because you won't get off your fat ass and go execute and take chances and take risk. I've held back for a long time, and I admittedly have done that. And today, going forward, you're going to get more of this. You're going to get more video analysis of stocks and ideas that I have, and you're going to hear my language. But in the end, I hope it inspires you. But more importantly, I hope it inspires you that our group, Carrie, Mark, Haley, myself, and our tribe inspire you to go take chances and do the work and make your dreams come true. In the end, you will die, you will leave this planet, and you'll have a moment where you'll look back and go, did I do everything I wanted to do? Did I push the edge? Did I fall and scrape my knee and get back up? A lot of you will say no, and you'll be bummed, and then you're gone. Don't let that happen to yourself. Get up, write down your ideals, journal them, and find a way to build them. and try them and execute and fail and try again and fail and try again and fail and try again and then hit. And your dreams all of a sudden become your reality. Take care. Have a great day. Live loud. Peace.